Hello and welcome to Campaign Comrades, or should I say Comrades Campaign, Part 3, era appropriate fedora. You know,
No newsy cap.
Comrade Cthulhu.
yeah. Uh, Folks, we are bringing you our latest, I'll say one shot, short adventure. We'll see. Probably going to run at least 2 sessions. The creativity bug gets you where you're writing something out and it's just like, oh yeah, I've got details here and details there, and we'll see what they bite and what they don't. And yeah, this could last 90 minutes or it could be 4 hours, so we'll see how it goes. But
If I
let
were
me say,
taking bets, I would bet on the long.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Me hiding
Bet on the over,
entire,
folks.
For sure.
Hammer the over.
me
Yeah,
hiding the entire second map you guys never found.
as I was about to say, like, the crew here has kept their character creation pretty much all secrets, so everything is going to be approached with fresh eyes here. So this could be a total shit show, but well, that's what makes tabletop RPGs fun. But also, in particular, I enjoy the chaos that this era brings as well. So let me set the stage here. Era appropriate, music coming through your radio, playing now. It's
Rainy
19
I
shit.
have my
I'll try-
zoot suit on.
yeah, it's 1926, Delaware,
Yeah.
Wilmington.
Nice transatlantic accent.
Yeah, that's probably like the
I'll edit in
the
some
most I'll
radio
do, yeah.
crackle.
yeah.
Yeah.
We come to seeing this somewhat tranquil suburban community. Everything seems peaceful and idyllic. It's white picket fences. People are people work hard, bring home a reasonable living for their loved ones. That's what you would
Of
think.
$1.
$1.50
A month.
And
That might be high.
but no, really underneath that, we see that we're in a kind of a sequestered neighborhood as it exists right now. We are What this kind of idyllic surface hides is a relatively tumultuous time going on right here in this community of Greater Wilmington, which I should have actually done my geography research about where exactly in Delaware Wilmington is located.
Shame on you for not going down and driving to Delaware, and
Yeah.
driving around to familiarize yourself with the layout of the state.
Great state. A lot of contributions to American society.
It's a relatively segregated community, that I can know for sure for the time, both in terms of race, class, all of that stuff. We will be going towards one of the more kind of seemingly well-to-do neighborhoods, middle of the road, healthily middle class. If you were to go, to the other side of the train tracks, you'd see a different story. You'd see the more tangible effects of the recent factory closures that have happened thanks to some recent contract disputes between management and the various labor unions that are each industry has their own union, but is largely organized by a kind of local representative agreement that kind of works to pool the collective bargaining power of the different industries that make up the majority of jobs, in particular the blue collar jobs here in this stretch of Delaware. There were negotiations going on for these new contracts that have, for no apparent reason other than at the whim of the bosses, has fallen through, leaving the the kind of cause at a stalemate. They've yet to officially call for a strike, although there has been work stoppages that have been kind of ongoing, offgoing. There have been calls and some preliminary discussions and threats and rumblings of strikes going on. You've had some organizers that are popping up amongst the individual unions that are trying to galvanize support amongst the rank and file. But several of these leaders have mysteriously gone missing, and it has kind of led to a depression of the kind of more fervent militant labor attitudes amongst the regular working folk. So that is the general kind of undertones that is pervading the more working class communities here. They are being monitored and policed by the local Wilmington PD. They are making tours around the neighborhoods, making sure that the rabble aren't rising up, that they're not, that these threats of strike won't come to pass. So, what have the community leaders done? They have found which the details will be explained. They have found and gained access to a one of these houses, one of a larger house in these kind of middle class neighborhoods, and that is where the camera swings down and descends upon into this more idyllic neighborhood. We see that people are more able to gather because it's kind of free from the over policing of the Wilmington
You can just
Sheriff's
say white
Department.
neighborhood. You can just
Yeah.
say white neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the good WASP neighborhoods.
Yeah, I was gonna say you must add the distinction that they're Protestant.
Yeah, definitely none of them Catholics. Get them out of here.
We don't want them.
So there are people kind of coming and going. There's all sorts of kind of community action going on within this house. You've got some of the wives are doing childcare for a bunch of people. There's basically a grill going nonstop out in the backyard where they're cooking up a good barbecue to feed all the people that are coming and going. There are organizers in the kitchen going over plans and discussing recent developments with negotiations and kind of taking stock of everything and they're trying to keep themselves insulated to avoid any further disappearances, because that has really kind of rattled their resolve. But we descend further to the basement, in the sub basement, where you hear the muffled whacks, whacks, whack of fist into stomach type of sound. There is this somewhat older, maybe like late 50s guy. He's tall but lean, and he's kind of sitting in a rocking chair, smoking a pipe. He's got kind of he's got like a short but kind of gruff gray beard and kind of scraggly grayish hair, and he's got a couple folks behind him, and he's turning to someone like readjusts like an overhead work light and shines it down on the somewhat bruised and swollen face of our first party member. Matt, can you describe your character? who is currently tied up in a chair, getting wailed on.
All right, so you're looking at a tall, medium build, like a 6'1", kind of spindly. Not a lot of muscle on that build there. He's got a short crop of rapidly thinning brown hair on the top. And he's got he might be young. He's about 28, but his face says that he's at least 60. He's seen weird times. And his name. Do you want names too? Do you want
Yes,
just
please.
description?
Yes, because I actually don't have everybody's names. So
All right, so that's Clarence Bunting, but the people who know him call him Carl.
yeah, so I'm just gonna put Carl down. Yeah, Carl, like you're gonna at the start of things, you're gonna take 2 points of bludgeoning damage. And we'll say like that's like the cumulative, because they're not like really trying to maim you, more just like, impress the the weight of their feelings down upon you. Yeah, so what does Carl do for a living?
So Carl, Carl's one of them bootleggers. He's be out in there making the moonshine and running it. He does both. He's better at running it than making it. Part of the reason he looks the way he looks is because he's not so good at making it, and there have been some accidents, lots of accidents.
A still or two may have gone boom in the night.
Yeah, but not a single person in this whole county can keep up with Carl Bunton when he is running from the law. I tell you what.
Yeah, but it seems like he's gotten caught up by some vigilante justice here.
Well, you see, the whole not so fast, not in my car.
Yeah, so the guy who is overseeing your interrogation is one Gustav Gus Kerplotskin, the head of this the conglomerate union. He is overseeing your interrogation here, and it says, what was it, Carl, your name was.
Yeah, Carl.
So Carl, the movement would perhaps look down upon us, treating a fellow working class man such as yourself like this, but you know there are exceptions for flash traders, right? And our boys here caught word that you were supplying some of your illegal hooch to the to the city elite, that they for this party that they got coming up, this fundraiser that they've got scheduled. Now, Carl, I have a question for you, and how you answer, will determine what my good friend here does to you. And before I ask you, he asked that question, we pan up to the person who is just laying fists into Carl's gut. And Andrew, could you please describe your character for us?
Yeah, so we see a middle-aged, red graying haired Irish Bostonian man by the name of Mick McConaughey, and he's about 5'10", 225. He's very thick boy,
Hot dog
and
neck.
he is just hot dog neck, big old
Bratwurst
fists,
neck.
brushing. Yeah, bratwurst neck. No, it's actually potatoes. It's a potato neck, and
Haggis.
he he, is the union's current enforcement, we'll say, and security. And he's just trying to use advanced interrogation techniques here to get the information we need from Carl, this filthy bootlegging swine.
Yeah, so it should be made clear that Mick is not actually a card-carrying member of the union. Every now and again they need the employ of some people with, so that the union can take, plausible deniability, right? They need someone to do the dirty work that, if things go wrong.
Not our fault that the contractor did what he did. He's the
Yeah,
contractor.
It's like he's got no connections. He's got no connections to us. So everybody has their role to
Provides
play.
certain services.
You have a certain special set of skills.
You could say that.
Gus Kerplotskin, then, says, my new associate, Mick here, who's, in the short time with us, has proven to be, an indispensable asset to the movement. He has a particular set of skills that he uses to great effect. Which you've already been the beneficiary of, but believe you me, when it comes to class traders and enemies of the working man, he can go all out. Again, we've got stories that we can tell you. Thanks to
They
him.
call him Zubair Irish.
Yeah, the Gus's number 2 here is a kind of smaller, shall we say, Hebraic looking gentleman named Zachariah Heschel. Says like, yeah, I owe Mick my life. He, if not for Mick, I would have, been the next union man to have been disappeared, by the bosses. Mick has recently done the union a great service by rescuing their number 2 from would be kidnappers. What happened to the kidnappers? Who knows? We'll see.
For me to know.
Yeah. For you just to think about. So Gus, says like, okay, Carl, you're going to be on the receiving end of his brand of justice unless you can tell me who exactly will be, who will be in attendance at this fundraiser. So we already know that, it's the birthday and the voice dripping with irony, our beloved Senator R.J. Brandon. Which again stands
Robinette Joseph Brandon.
No, it's Robin Josephat Brandon is his name. So we love him, don't we, folks? He's see, it's 1926 or something, and he's already been our senator. He's already been our senator for probably like 14 years, and he's got a long, bright future ahead of him. So we already know, he's the guest of honor, but we need that guest list. And we know you say, like, it's up to you to tell us. And I'll just say right here, Carl, you have no idea. You have no knowledge of who's going to be there. That's not where you were paid for.
I'll all right. So first thing, you hit me a lot in the head, and that doesn't help anything in this particular instant. But first, I just run the hooch and sometimes blow it up, but occasionally end up with moonshine. But when the dude come to me and approached me, and he was like, I got did for you that I could buy a lot of your hooch, and I was like, I could sell a lot of hooch, and so that's how that kind of went down there. And so then he said, like, he was wearing a suit,
He's just
like
gonna keep
real
rambling.
suit.
He's just gonna keep
And
rambling. So Guts is going to cut in, and well, first I need you to make a hard persuade roll for me. And yeah, so it should be noted again, we're still in the Prohibition era, so alcohol is illegal, but of course that doesn't apply to our cultural and political elite in our the economic leaders of industry.
you said persuade.
Yeah, a hard persuade. Well, you could do whatever, persuade, charm, fast talk. Yeah, you're definitely
Yeah,
fast talking.
that was
Yeah, you're
that was
definitely
my
fast talking. So go ahead. Yeah.
And just to clarify, the 0-0 when you have it on the tens dice.
That's good. So long as that's very good.
That's
That means
that's a 0 then. So that's
correct.
a full ultra mega awesome success.
It's an extreme success.
Yeah.
All right. So they're like,
Hell yeah.
Mick was, about to, wind up and, cracked his knuckles and, is about to lay into him again. And, Gus holds up his hand, and whispers to Zachariah. It's like,
And so, he wearing the suit and stuff, and, he just keep
it's like, this guy's an
making
idiot,
sure that it's going in the background still.
Yeah. It's like this guy is an idiot. He doesn't, Zachariah is actually the one who butts in. It's like, this man is an idiot. He's a submental moron, doesn't know doesn't know shit.
So what is I saw the suit, and I ended up charging him like 4 times the rate normally do, because I know we got money. And
Okay, and so while they're like kind of like talking amongst themselves to like try and figure out, where they go next, there's a knock at the basement door, and carrying a tray of finger sandwiches and lemonade is the owner of the house, who has so magnanimously lent its usage to the union. One of the union's newest card carrying members. Mike, can you describe their character as you have to duck into what's probably like a 4-foot door?
Yeah. So my name is Gunther Leahy. I am a tall, strapping, big lad of 40 years of age. I always wear a newsy cap, some dungaree overalls, and a pair of boots. I am a textile mill worker. The reason that I'm a card carrying member of the union is I am the only one eligible for the union in the textile mill. The rest are children.
Yeah,
so
there is an age requirement for the to get your union card.
So Gunther works next to the children, making doing some weaving, making some textiles. He's incredibly intelligent despite his size, very soft spoken as well. And he decided to join the union when his longtime co-worker to his left, Timmy Quickhands, lost his life in the textile mill. May he rest in peace.
So he got caught in the loom and got
Yes.
got sewed up in a rug. They still sold the rug, by the way.
Yeah, and it's actually in the next room of Gunther's house. He was the one that bought it because he had to honor Timmy Quickhands. His hands weren't that quick that day.
His hands weren't quick enough.
Yeah. So I've inherited this house from my uncle, and Uncle Gerald, And so, I've lent it to the union as my way of contributing and honoring Timmy Quickhands, honoring his name and his life that shouldn't have been lost if there was safety regulations in place, and the
Or if
union
his
was able
hands
to
were
speak
quicker.
up for it, or if his hands were quicker. It's because he was starting to get a little bit older. Yeah, it's like
Hands were getting
Timmy
too
was
big.
no longer with the quickness.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm missing fingers as a product of my age.
Yeah, I mean, like you're ancient for the textile industry. Like the prime age is 14 to 16, easy.
You had to
Younger
join the
That's when
than
union
that.
you're
because
at your
they should have
best.
taken you out back and treated you like a horse back then. That was past its prime.
Yeah. No, Timmy Quickhands was 11 when he lost his life. Been sitting next to me for 3 years.
I was gonna
So
say that's
it,
3 years
He
longer than the average age of death in the textile.
he
it's
was just
because
in
of
his
his
prime.
quick fingers.
He was in his
Yeah.
prime, folks.
His hand-eye coordination had like really locked in around 9. But then the quickness and speed that he had started to
His
slow
He
down a
started
bit,
developing
and he was getting
arthritis.
cocky. Yeah.
his quick aim was taking a hit. Yeah, he's getting
Yeah,
the
he couldn't no scope, one shot,
the
headshot, sniper.
He could thread a
the
needle,
loom
no
trail
scope.
thing. Yeah. Yeah, so you come in, bearing this tray of snacks
Wants
for
lemonade.
I've got snacks.
yeah,
That's how I walk in.
and
Oh, you got their snack there, bug? I could use a sandwich right now.
uh
Oh,
the the
here
other
we go.
the other union muscle guy, a large Italian goon named Vito Manzanelli, steps in and like kind of blocks your view of the interrogation that's going on, and says, thanks, I'll take it from here. I'll take it from here, Gunther. Why don't you,
Okay.
why don't you go, stand out by the door in case we need you, in case we need some more refreshments.
You got it.
This doesn't concern you, so it like takes you out, or it doesn't.
So one thing about Gunther is he looks like he's a dullard, but he's incredibly intelligent.
Yeah, it's like, speaking of submentals, they're like, again, we can't have this guy, in our inner circle, blabbing on our plans. Who knows? Somebody comes up with a lollipop, some union buster comes up with a lollipop. He'll tell them all our plans. So yeah,
Is it grape flavored?
they have you kind of stationed just outside the door. Carl, or not Carl. Carl is still kind of still tied down, but Gus and Zachariah go back and they finish their little conversation, and they say, "Well, all right, Carl, we have a proposition for you here. Um, you may not know anything now, but we believe that you are in a unique position to gain some information for us. And I'd say you have a choice to help us, but your choice is really, one way. Either you help us out and you help out the cause, or Mick here crushes your balls."
Oh well, that's the only part of my body that's still not completely mangled from all the accidents. But I'd really
He
like to
doesn't have
keep those.
syphilis.
So you'd
I'd
like
really
to
like
keep it that way.
keep those intact because someday I want to make a Carl Jr. who's gonna maybe found some sort of fast food restaurant chain,
That's
paired up with some man named Hardy.
that's your dream. That's your American dream.
That's what gets him through the days.
Like, okay, so we need to know who is, who's going to be attending this party We need to know what the bosses have planned for this event. We know it's going to be big, but we have our if we are to make an appropriate stand against them, we need to be well armed. We need to be prepared. We need to have information is the currency of this, of this movement. And right now we are cash poor. So Mick here is going to escort you from the premises, get you cleaned up. Maybe
I don't really. Baths aren't really my thing.
that wasn't a suggestion.
You fucking stink.
You smell like corn liquor.
I was gonna say I didn't. I don't think I described his apparel. He's just wearing overalls.
Yeah.
Maybe one boot. Maybe one,
No,
or just like a
he's got
sock.
he's got some really worn down boots on that you can definitely see like a toe poking out, maybe the front of one of them.
Does he carry a hobo bindle? That's the question. No, that's too much tying him down.
No.
When you're running
Yeah.
from the law, you can't have that much.
Can't have possessions. Can't have material possessions.
Yeah, it's the Carl, again, it wasn't your brightest move to try to get a couple of furloughed teamsters to scab for you and handle your illegal booze shipment over the border, which is how you got turned in to the union here. But we'll lend you guys the use of a truck, and we recommend you use your time to go about town and to learn what's going on. You've got some connections that I'm sure you can leverage here, but Mick is going to oversee to make sure that things don't go wrong. Zachariah then whispers in and is like, boss, maybe we should have Gunther go with him, get him out of the way. He can't do any I'm sure he can't do any harm out there.
I don't know. I don't know that we need the big eunuch.
He does kind of look that way. It's like, if anything, he's extra muscle, he's intimidating, but he's not going to get in the way. Whereas here, it's just like we're constantly tiptoeing around him. Yeah, he gave us the use of his house, but like, he keeps nosing his big old face wherever. Like he's good natured. He's a good natured kid. I don't have anything really against the guy, but he's constantly underfoot, and for a man that large, that's a problem. So why don't we let him tag along?
Well, you guys are saying this. I'm in the other room, just sitting in the rocker, staring at Timmy Quick Hands.
It's like a rug where it's just
textile.
like you just see the corpse is just perfectly preserved in it.
Yep. It's behind glass.
It's just like it's been suction, so it's like a body bag that's just been all the air removed, and he's just like in like
perfectly preserved,
and he's in like the weird position like you see on all like the wet floor
chalk
signs.
outline.
Yeah, the chalk outline. He's just in motion.
Perfectly preserved in hemp textile.
And they're like Gus is like, not a bad idea. Maybe we could actually get some work done here. So they call him in. Gus, get back in here.
Gunther.
Oh yeah, sorry. Gunther, come back in here. Get back in here, says Gus.
Yeah, whatever I could do for you guys. Waddle on in there, duck in this fucking hobbit house that I live in.
All right, so before you guys they let Carl out of his bonds, and they say, Gunther, do you have perhaps a new set of clothes that don't have blood all over it, and that don't reek of corn liquor that Carl could use here, and get him a towel
Yeah,
and you know some
my
fresh
uncle
clothing.
Gerald was quite a thick man himself. I think we could find some of his old clothes in this house for Gus here to wear.
For Carl. Yeah, yeah. We're everybody's
Carl.
still learning names here, so it's fine,
Yeah.
including me. Um. So yeah,
Carl.
Carl.
Now you said you said a pickup truck. You got it better be a Ford first off. If you're not buying American made, you fuck you. Second, uh, it better
What
be
competing car
Is
manufacturing companies?
the first ever Japanese truck imported
Yeah.
here. It's one of the mini trucks.
It's like
a box
even
truck.
like smaller than they are today. It's literally like a
From
fucking
quick
RV,
research, apparently
RC.
Volvo was making pickup trucks in the 1920s.
It's literally like the it's a three-wheeler. It's so small.
Yeah.
Better be the the inline four cylinder with the 28
One,
horsepower. I can
yeah.
really
The Japanese
whip
one
that.
is 1/4 horsepower.
I can really move move with all them horses.
All right. So does Mick have to hold you down to get you to bathe
Uh,
and to clean
maybe
up your face?
initially, and then I'll probably just give up on it and just do it.
Say because they were mostly
Just
hitting
tickles
you.
behind your ear.
They were hitting you in like hitting you with phone books and shit. So the things that won't do too much visual damage. So like yeah, maybe you had like a cracked
On your
lip
thighs.
and yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I have a lot of teeth to begin with, so like,
yeah, it
Thighs
wasn't.
and belly shots only.
Yeah. So you got maybe like a little bit you got to clean up here, but yeah, it's mostly to
after the bath, instead of looking in my late 50s, I now look like I'm in my late 40s. 10 years worth of age just from grime.
like literally had to use like one of the grill brushes
Yeah.
to scrape it off him.
They had to like, the tools to like clean horseshoes and
Yeah,
stuff. They had to
yeah.
like use those on his feet.
Get the grime out from underneath those yellow toenails.
He lost like 2 inches of height.
Yeah. All right. So you have, you've kind of are being set loose into the community to kind of get an idea of what's going on with this party that's being thrown. It's a party slash fundraiser that's going on for the reelection campaign of the Senator R.J. Brandon. So obviously we know he's going to be around. There's all sorts of different places you could go in town to try to get some information. He's got a campaign office. There's all sorts of things, but I'll leave that to you guys to kind of investigate on your own. But yeah, like the for those of you in the know, the goal is to try to set up a strike, like a picket line, in front of in front of the party. And so like they need to know what they're protesting. Basically, they need to that there's something that the bosses are doing together, and that they assume is going to be unveiled at this party. So they can't afford to be caught unawares, so they're trying to get some as much intel as possible, as well as everybody's still trying to figure out what's happened to these missing union leaders. And so they're sending you off because honestly none of you are that important, and again are at most tangentially affiliated. And yeah, there's all sorts of places for you to go. So you're cleaned up. You're given the keys to a pickup. You know, they don't have the crew cabs yet. So Carl is
Yeah.
like, you know, sandwiched in the hump seat
Oh, I
in the
figured
middle.
we put
I'm
him
not
in.
allowed to
He still
drive?
smells a bit, so
I'm-
we put
I'm
him
driving
in,
the
in
car.
the bed.
You're putting him in the bed. You're tying
Yeah, no,
him
he's in
down.
the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he could scarp her.
You could sit in the back.
There's no. It's just a
Nah.
bed.
He's coming in the cab, and I'm driving the car. And as we head to the car, I pull out a little glass vial, and I just kind of take a couple huffs from it and put it away discreetly.
Are we? I'm sorry. I need a clarification. Are we going to the party and mingling?
The
To
party
find
is
out more?
is scheduled for like tomorrow.
Yeah, we have
Tomorrow
to get
evening.
information.
So you're getting information on.
So we're just
Party
like
that-
going into town type.
Yeah,
thing.
they want to. Now it's like your investigation phase. Basically, it's like
Yeah.
everybody they want to know who's going to be there, what's trying to just get information from
Got it.
whoever. So, you know, you have to get out, drive out of the kind of suburban residential neighborhood. There are other smaller kind of enclaves like this. There's like the gated communities where like a lot of the bosses and shit live, and then there are the more kind of rundown, more downtown industrial areas. There are, say, where most of the actual rank and file union members and the working class live. And then there is like the class. We'll assume we're kind of on the water. So like, you know, there's part of it that's on the water. There's a wharf. There's a boardwalk. There is a downtown center. There's a courthouse. There's there's an office for like the newspaper. The trade union does have an office downtown. There's let's see, there's representatives for there's like, you know, the normal stuff for downtown. There's a Chamber of Commerce office. The senator has one of his campaign offices downtown. There's a local library.
I
Your
say,
classic fare.
say we
but
go to
there's-
the campaign office.
there's you know, again, you can explore the different neighborhoods too, but there's this kind of the downtown kind of stretch of Main Street, basically.
Now, you say we want to go to the campaign office. I'm saying that the local newspaper gonna have all the information we need, and I can get it right quick from them because they'll all respect my honesty when I'm talking to them, and they'll respect.
Carl, I'm gonna cut you off right there. I don't know why I'm talking like you. You're not allowed to talk. Shut the fuck up.
No, you gotta trust me here. I can do it. Just give me one
Now
shot.
see here. You're gonna
I'll
shut
say,
the
I'll
fuck up.
say.
We'll let the
My
Mongoloid
accents are terrible.
let the Mongoloid get his work done first. Let's see what he can do.
All right, so you want to go to the newspaper?
Yeah.
So it's the downtown office of the Wilmington Evening Journal, owned and operated by one of the most prominent families in the area, the DuPonts. It's technically owned by the patriarch of the family, the current patriarch, Alfred DuPont, but he has rumor has that he's like, you know, has fallen sick and is no longer he's too frail to oversee the day-to-day. But it is operated by his youngest son, Thaddeus. He is the current editor of the Evening Journal. Okay, so you make your way to the newspaper, going in the front door.
Walking right in.
Carl,
Yeah, I assume so.
you take the lead, man.
All right,
All right.
trust me here.
I hit my forehead because I know this is just not going to go well.
So the office is actually relatively empty. There is one person crammed behind a desk typing away at a typewriter. There's curls of smoke coming up from behind he's mainly obscured in this cubicle. But
Just ripping heaters.
yeah, when the like typing away trying to hit a deadline of some sort, it's like the little panel like at his cubicle, says like staff writer or whatever. But there's a ding at the doorbell at when the door opens, it hits the little bell, and the voice doesn't break stride in his writing, but you can tell again still has the cigarette in his mouth. And it says like tips and sources, in the box of the front desk, um, deliverables in the back, and so on. You're looking to schedule an interview. You'll have to wait till Doris gets back from her lunch break.
I don't mean to impose. I am just a mild mannered man of the land, and I have the scoop of a lifetime that I think can benefit your news agency in ways that you probably never seen before. You know our Senator R.J. Brandon.
So he stops typing, hits up, head pokes up above the desk. It's a roughly middle-aged man. It's probably like 10 in the morning, and he already has a deep 5 o'clock shadow. And again, yeah, just like got a cigarette perpetually in the corner of his mouth. So you got a story about the senator?
I do. So,
You have my interest, sir. Please
well,
come sit down. Are these two large gentlemen with you?
they are my associate. They are my friends.
Do you have a stutter?
No, he can't figure out the full big words there, and he's trying to.
He's he knows that there should be a word that he's looking for, and just
The
Sound it
holes
out,
in his
Carl.
brain from the fucking moonshine he's been making.
from just straight up rubbing alcohol.
So
Yeah.
I have two stories for you, sir. Two hooks about our lovely senator, R.J. Brandon. The first,
Make a quick fast talk roll for me. Just
well,
a
he's doing that.
regular one.
I kind of say under my breath, he's doing a lot better than I thought.
that's just a second tier success.
Just a regular success or a hard success?
It's the 50%.
Okay, the half value. Okay, that's a
Yeah.
hard success. Okay, cool. So like, yeah, you've got my interest. I'm actually currently working on a story right now about the dear old senator.
So I first have it on good authority through some friends of mine in a certain industry that our senator tries to oppose via legislation and law that he
I'm surprised.
is providing liquor for his party. Hooch.
Got that hooch. It's like, okay. Not too surprising, but where's your, the rich and elite hardly abide by are known to abide by the prohibition laws. You say, what's your source there?
I have a ledger here, written note made out to one of his managers, to one of my friends, yeah, to for a whole delivery of grade A moonshine tomorrow night.
Can you
Yeah, just
produce this ledger?
produces paper from.
He's gonna like look at it, and it does appear to be signed by a certain, where is it? Gerald Corlado, which is the senator's campaign manager, at least here in the local office. Says, this is most intriguing.
And then the second story.
I've had my fair few run-ins with Corlado. He's shall we say, an eccentric man, and he like kind of taps his nose a little bit. Loves a little bit of that fun time sugar.
He spoke really fast and was really hard to understand.
Medicinal, I'm told.
They all say.
I'm also of the belief, and I've seen it with my own eyes, that R.J. Brandon sniffs children.
That sir is a bold claim. Do you have any photographic evidence?
Well, that's the unfortunate part. That's why I gave you the first one first, because you would have told me to leave if I told you this one first. I know people who've seen him do it. I know people who say that he'd be doing things with children at his party tomorrow.
Unfortunately, I can't. I'm gonna stop you there. I can't be reporting, third-hand claims of child sniffing here.
Do you know if the New York Post has an office here?
I say under my breath, and there it goes. He's off the rails.
So that is quite provocative, undoubtedly. He's like, yes,
Do you know who's going to his party? Because if they're doing child sniffing at the party, then we might be able to get better evidence by stalking people, chasing. Beating. Finding these associate.
Like I sympathize with you, sir. What'd you say your name was?
No. They don't really
like names of sources are kept in the strictest confidence, I assure you.
All right, my name.
If it makes you feel any better, as I did, like, how rude of me, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Donald Lewis. I think of myself a little bit as a gumshoe reporter.
And because it's just like instinct and habit at that point, reaches out, grabs, handshakes, he goes, "I'm Clarence Button."
Well, Clarence, I appreciate you coming in today. I would never ask you to, try to put yourself into harm's way. If you can get me some hard evidence of such child sniffery going on via photographic technology, I would be more than happy to run it in this latest issue. I don't care what, and he's like kind of muttering to himself, I don't care what my goddamn editor says. Like these fat cats, have been, telling us what to do for far too long.
Hell yeah, brother. Pulls out a tiny flask.
And do you offer it to him?
Takes a hit and then offers the hit.
He kind of like sniffs it a little bit, and I'm sure it's
it's basically gasoline.
It's petroleum. Yeah, I was gonna say. And he just like, it's like bottoms up and takes a swig.
Ethanol.
And that's good. It's like, can see why I can see why the party organizers wanted your product, some good hooch.
He's making E85 ethanol.
Yeah.
You'd be running it in the fucking cars.
As well,
That's why I get away from people. Half of my hooch becomes fuel.
like, so I'm sure, the the variable who's who's of local and municipal and industry elites are going to be at the party, right? They're all the biggest donors to the senator's campaign. Of course, you're going to have uh, Marshall Hillary, the head of the local, the head of the Wilmington branch of Delaware Bank and Trust. Again, he's like probably the number one donator to the campaign. So they've got stuff cooking there. I mean, that's actually been I've been writing this story and I'm trying to get my editor to okay it, but the bastard will not sign off, and I understand why. The last time we tried to run an anti-industry pro-union piece, they killed the guy's cat. So I get it.
My mouth is just agape at the learning a cat was killed.
It's like, I get it.
Louis.
The intimidation.
I've heard he's a child sniffer as well.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if all of these are. My good for nothing, dilettante boss Thaddeus DuPont, I'm sure will be there. Not that he ever comes into the office. Goddamn layabout. Wouldn't know like a hard day's work if it kicked him in the ass. We also got
Reach.
Francis Northup, the the real estate magnate of Delaware developers. They've got things cooking, I'm sure. Again, I'm just listing off. This is largely public information. I would tell you that this is donor rolls are pretty well accounted for. But then we've got
where would we get that public information?
the library, I'm sure.
What the fuck is a library?
The book repository. Or I'm sure you could try asking the campaign office for more up-to-date numbers. Like, you could find information on all his past campaigns at the library, but that would be your best bet there. But in terms of current donors and donor rolls, they're not required to disclose that till after the election has taken place. So those numbers are maybe kept a little tighter to the chest right now. They're not in the habit of disclosing the size of their war chest as they're going into election season.
Yeah, they don't want to tell us how many Catholics are funding their campaign.
The goddamn papists doing popery,
running the world
all over the place. But yeah, then the last two that really strike to me, that I'm sure are going to be there are Joseph Grimsby, the head of the of Delaware Textiles, and Hamish McGinnis, chief of police. He can't get anything done in this town without old Hamish getting his fingers in the pie. So I'm sure he'll be there, probably with a contingent of his deputies. And yeah, that's in terms of like the local who's who, that would be my guess, my best guess. I'm sure there's going to be other party bigwigs and other people. There's rumors that the governor is going to be making an appearance. William D. Denny, a real guy, by the way, and the mayor. These are all people who owe allegiance to.
Child sniffing goes all the way up to the top.
I'm sure it goes farther and deeper than that, but again, can't print anything about it until I've got hard proof. So
So
you
my
can get that
question
from
to you,
me.
good sir, is you said photography.
Yes, sir.
You have a camera.
I have a camera. I'm actually a good photographer.
So
I
like
do that in my spare time.
I'll say as this is going on, fucking Gunther has just been taking pictures this whole time. Just been just been recording this whole
No,
thing
what? Camera? You said camera?
for posterity.
Yeah. I reckon I got to make this last. My accents are just gonna be. We're gonna keep changing. I'm playing around.
Yeah, they blend all over the place.
Yeah.
Accents are addictive, folks. Someone gives one, and then you just automatically fall into step.
Yeah. And they eventually just become South African.
Yeah, I was gonna try to do the North Atlantic one for the majority of this thing, but like it would just devolve too
want
much.
to.
Part of my delirium last night of I can't go to sleep because I'm too mad about basketball included me watching lots of videos of Pennsylvania Dutch.
But yeah, if you can get us that evidence, then
Are you aware of any policy proposals that might be unveiled tonight?
the you know you would be well served going to the campaign office. They've got their literature out there. I could give you a list of some of their proposals, but like it's all general faff and whatnot, and all kind of just political speak, and it's who knows what they actually they've got cooking going on. There's all sorts of colluding
We're hoping to
and
not let them cook.
oh, but they are definitely churning up something. That's for sure. I have yet to get anybody on the record that can confirm, but I can tell you this. Most people have not followed the trail as fastidiously as I have. Again, they don't call you gumshoe for nothing. You got to earn them stripes. Uh, every
where I'm from, you get called gumshoe when you step in gum.
a common misconception, sir. But most people, rightfully so, are caught up with the recent labor kerfuffles, the fallout of the recent negotiation failures, and the disappearances of some of union leadership. Rightfully so. That's got people, rightfully focused on that. But if you dig further and deeper, there's been some funny business going on here, and I can only assume that state government has gotten involved, and you've got to have some people throwing weight around. There has been it's like pulls out some records and some like copies of like some deeds and stuff. Like these are all like hand transcribed. Copier machine doesn't exist yet. They're like I went out and I reviewed and interviewed a couple of the there have been reports of a nameless, faceless organization that's buying up all the farmland in back away from the coast, obviously, but the the outlying the outlying areas of the city, and been gobbling them up for dirt cheap, much paying a price that is much less than what these properties are worth. But every time I go to try to snoop around, ask questions, ask why the sellers sold for such a pittance, I get chased away. Whether by some goons in dark suits or by the sellers themselves. I had one man brandish a shotgun at me and shot me in the ass with birdshot. We're picking pellets out for a week.
Any pellets still in there?
Probably. It's like as he starts slurring his words. Definitely don't have lead poisoning. Definitely
What
don't
were we
have lead.
talking about?
Definitely don't have lead poisoning of the ass. But yeah, it's like, so something fishy's going on there. My gut tells me that they're involved, but I can't say for sure. But that's all you're gonna get out of me. This is all off the record, of course. Not until you can get me some hard evidence, then we can go on the record and we can get these child sniffers, put to justice. If I have anything,
I agree. I'm gonna say that I don't even remember we had a conversation. I'm just gonna go find some information. We're gonna come back eventually, and we're gonna take them down. All right.
All right. So he gives you his card, and so again, it's with. I've got my home phone is here as well, and so yeah, it's Donald Lewis. He's a staff writer, staff reporter for the Evening Journal. If you can get any proof, like we're going to print tonight. If you can get me anything by then, that'd be great. If not, we'll have to wait till next printing.
You can touch Donnie.
Right.
I take a
So
picture of
Head
him
to the campaign
as we
office.
leave.
you say
you had no
you take his picture before you leave.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Tell him you're beautiful so that he smiles.
Gotta get the
You'd be
before and
prettier if you
after.
smiled more.
I riz him up a bit. Use my charm.
You gotta do the before and after picture, so you can get
Yeah.
you can get that old timey social media clout. By social media, it's the town notice board. All right, so you're heading next to the campaign office.
You had no
sounds
faith
good
in
to
me,
me.
but I knew that the newspaper were gonna like see a ledger of a dude buying alcohol and breaking rules that he'd be making rules about.
Carl, I underestimated you. You did a fine
I might
job.
sound like a dullard, and I didn't
I may act
do
like a dullard at sometimes.
I didn't do no schooling or nothing like that, but like I can be smart. I can do smart things.
I may not
Uh,
know how to read, but I know a ledger when I see one. I know my
and
figures.
and Carl, the word was it was associates. And associates, can you say that with me? Can we just practice it for next time?
Sound it out.
Sound it out.
Associates.
It's
Associates.
Associates.
Ass.
It's just associates is
It's not Spanish, but
associates is
Not Polish either.
yeah.
Okay, so you head
I went to
down.
the school of hard trees.
You head down, and it's not too far from the newspaper. Is the taking over like it was probably like a barber shop at some point, and so it's not a huge office, but it's the local campaign office for the senator's reelection. There is, up front is a secretary, um, and middle aged, maybe early 40s woman is looks like she's typing up a press release, scheduling and like scribbling in a schedule book and doing many tasks at once. Can I get a? I don't think there's I'm still trying to learn all the skills myself. I guess we'll do a spot hidden roll. It's not like it's fully hidden, but there is no general perception.
Fail for me.
Guess I don't have a D100.
Hard success on my end.
All right, so there's like a pane glass, kind of
On my end.
an office that's been set up behind, and you see there is a young man in the back who's like kind of manically on the phone, and he like the office is kind of obscured by like there's posters and banners and all sorts of stuff and papers, and so he's on the phone, slams the phone receiver down, and you see him bend over onto his desk, again obscured by some of these things, and just draws his head across, and then lifts his head up, pinching the bridge of his nose, and starts doing a little shaking his hands, doing a little dance. But yeah, you're barred from any further entry by the secretary at front.
I want to ask her. I'm gonna approach and ask her about the event this evening.
Tomorrow night, by the way.
Curious about tomorrow. Sorry, yeah. What's the gonna be? We hear a big reveal. We're interested in the senator's work, and we're just trying to get some insight into what he might be planning to unveil, so we can better support him.
Make a persuade roll, or persuade, charm, whatever you.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do persuade.
Has the gentleman who's been doing nose candy noticed me at all? Is it the same gentleman who I've already interacted with?
You had a hard success, right? So yeah, you
Yeah.
recognize him. He hasn't noticed you guys. He's in his
Okay.
own world.
I'm not gonna go up to him. I'm just gonna stare motherfuckingly at him.
Uh-huh.
I got an extreme success.
Okay. She, stops and says like, well, we're all, always happy to hear that, the community members supporting the senator's plans for a revitalized Wilmington. I can refer you to the literature that we have published here, and she kind of like points at a pamphlet here, but says like in terms of the it's the event tomorrow night, it's a private gathering for only the most dedicated of supporters. We'd love to have you there, but each plate requires a donation starting at $250.
I'll tell you one thing first. No one had $250 to give anyone. That's more money than anyone in this world has. That's not real money right there. Sorry. We're talking about that. Nope. Sorry guys, can't afford that. I'm going home.
Yeah, I want to see what the actual inflation is, although my keyboard's over there.
Now, Miss, I appreciate that, but we don't have that sort of money. Is there any way that you could that it is, Matt. You've infected all of our brains. I'm
Yeah.
doing it too. Is there is is there uh is there anything you can do to get us on that list? Maybe wouldn't want
It's about
anything bad to
$4,000. That's
happen
not
to
It's
you.
not. It's not
ridiculous.
that big, but it
It's not
works
that big.
because
So maybe do 500. It's almost 10,000.
Like there are $10,000 plate events all the time.
Yeah.
I tell
Yes.
you what, Carl has never seen that type of motherfuckingness in his life. Meals should cost what it gets you to kill the possum that you eat.
So sorry, what were you saying? Like you don't have that
So
kind of money?
I was saying we don't have that type of money, and it'd be great if you could just get us on the list somehow. It'd be a shame if something were to happen to you.
You want to make an intimidate roll now? I need a hard level of success. This is a jaded temp employee who
Okay.
is not
Luckily in
I
the 1920s, openly threatening a woman in the workplace means absolutely nothing.
Yeah. That's his part. That's his par for the course. She's used to much worse.
Hell yeah. I got a hard.
You got
I'm hard.
Mick got hard. Mick got hard for Connie Moorstone, the married mother of six secretary. She is like,
Absolutely.
she kind of looks up and it's like kind of taken aback and uh says Chief, you might want to get out here. We got some interested folks asking some questions about the about the senator's fundraiser tomorrow. And she's basically like, I don't get paid enough for this. And so like just throwing open the door open, just Connie, I told you I would be in calls all afternoon. You say, what can't you handle? That you say that you need my intervention every goddamn second of every goddamn day. I'm a busy, important man. How many times do I have to tell you this?
That man right there knows how to talk to an ankle. I tell you what.
So yeah, this is a young 30s guy. He's got slicked back hair, sleeves rolled up. It's a nice kind of breezy breezy day. You're not on the water, but you've still got a nice breeze coming from that direction. This guy is sweating buckets. He is just he's glistening.
So much cocaine.
And he is just so jittery, and he's like doesn't let Connie reply. It's like never mind, and he comes up and he looks each one of you up and down. Carl, can I get a psychology roll?
That's probably not. Definitely not going to pass.
Failure. Okay. He makes no notion of recognition towards you. He does not linger on you at all, but you don't know what he's thinking about you. He could just be playing it super cool.
I'm just thinking
knowing
about the
you're
fact
not.
that someone was charging $250 for a plate of food. That's all I'm hung up on.
So it looks you all up and down. It's like, what do you fellas need? What do you got going on? I'm sure it's a busy time for us here. Elections coming up. We've got speeches to write. We've got events to schedule. We've got vendors to deal with. I've got medicine that is running low. I got to go see my physician for the 6th time this week.
I'd just like to say that it really sucks that they keep limiting the amount that you can pick up from your physician, and I think you could tell RJ that he could make a legislation that would let us pick up more medicine from the physician
Say,
at one time.
believe you me, lessening medicinal regulations is high up on the senator's list. I don't know that we'll be able to get to it in the next legislative session, but it is on the docket. I promise you that. It's important to me as well. But yeah, literally the only thing I have written for this guy is that he is a fan of medicinal cocaine. But it's like, yeah, okay. So what do you need? Tell me what you need. Tell me what Corlado can do for you. You need a little, and then maybe you can
So
see what you can do for me.
listen, we're in the business of doing favors for people we like, and we like you guys. So we thought we could trade favor for favor and maybe get a little ticket to tomorrow night's event.
So well, I'm sure Connie told you, like the price for a ticket. And obviously the more you pay, the more FaceTime with the senator you get. I'm sure we could work something out, get you in on the sly. But if you can't pay for a ticket, what did you have in mind in terms of favors?
Carl leans in a little bit.
Gentlemen,
Well,
Okay, who's got a favor? Who's going?
Matt,
I was just gonna flash
Carl-
my
Car-
flask.
Carl's
refresh his
offering
memory.
shine.
A sip of shine.
Yeah, to refresh his memory.
It's like, sorry, sir, don't touch the stuff. I'm an uppers only man.
So it's interesting you say that because we've heard otherwise and have some evidence of your purchasing of a whole lot of hooch.
He's like
Want that?
completely you have to make an extreme intimidate check. He is so coked up and also just is
Failed.
so insulated that he doesn't care. He's like, yeah, so what? You're telling me that so who would be surprised to learn, that there's going to be, alcohol served at your party. It's expected. Hell, we'd probably gain votes. For every vote we'd lose from like the wives for sobriety or whatever, we'd gain, 3 votes from
Through the redneck vote. I get it. You're a smart man.
Fair enough.
Again, it's like yeah. The literal
pull out
chief
of my
of
back
police
pocket.
is going there and is going to be getting drunk on my dime. Like, you think he's going to care? Think he's going to take me in? Try again. Next.
I've been taking pictures this whole time, but I put my camera back in my bag.
Yeah, make
and
an arts and craft, make a photography roll for me.
Okay.
And it's gonna be a photography and stealth combined roll. Which just means you've got to succeed on, depending on your level of success on one and the other will determine the outcome.
So
You don't necessarily
failed on photo.
Okay, so the stealth doesn't even really matter at that point then. Yeah, you're just like, so you don't know this necessarily, but you're just like, yeah, I've been taking photos this whole time and they've just been photos of the floor or like the ceiling.
Yeah.
You forgot
I've been trying to be stealthy.
You forgot to change the flash bulb or something.
Yeah.
You never took your lens cover off.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the lens cap's on.
But so I go up to him and I go to shake his hand. I put my hand out to shake his hand, and he shakes my hand, and in that exchange is a little baggie of Coke.
Where did
And
you
I pull my
where
hand
did
away?
say where did you
Uncle Gerald was a big fan of Coke.
of the medicinal
of the
cocaine.
medicinal cocaine. And so he had it
Maybe
all
it's just
around the
pure
house, and I
opium.
brought it with us
All right, so
because I knew.
make a hard persuasion check with a bonus die though.
Why do you think Timmy Superfast was so
What
fast?
does a bonus die mean?
It's like, think of it like advantage.
And
So
remember, you want to be
charmed
taking the
instead?
lower of the two.
yeah, whatever of your interpersonal
Nice.
skill.
That's a 50% success on the first roll. Let me just see if I get better. Nope. So I got a 28.
Hard success.
I'm a 32.
Okay, so he says, so he looks at it and says, you're trying to be sly about it. He just takes it and holds it up to the hold it up to the light, and
Yeah.
it's like it's a little old, a little scuffed. He dips a pinky in, does a little. It's like a little bit stale, but this is definitely some back when they were. It's like when is this bag from? Like, am I tasting hints of say hints of Mexican with a touch of Colombian thrown in there?
Uncle Gerald liked to sample from many a wide varieties.
Says, this is, back when they were first starting out. Not bad, not bad. Says, I might be able to get you an in with somebody. I may not be able to get you a ticket per se, but how do any of you have any experience being waiters? You're just a large man. I don't necessarily know that you could pass as wait staff, but maybe these other two could. I could maybe talk to the caterer about getting you a job on the wait staff to get in, but
I'm good with knives in my hands. I could help cut some things
says,
for the
okay, interesting. Okay.
sous chef.
Okay. Yeah, let me make some calls. Let me make some calls. You let me step back into my office and I'll make a quick call. So he gets back on, closes you out, gets back on the office. Can I get a listen roll from the group?
Fail.
Fail.
Hard fail. I got a 99.
Okay. Ooh, that's a fumble.
Yeah, fumble.
Fumble.
That what that means is you try to put your head up to to like the glass and immediately fall over and make a
Make a
ruckus.
crash.
Yeah, which means that nobody else, even if anybody else could hear, you can't hear anything else.
Nice.
So he's like, he's looking at you guys. He's looking at last chances you could all get your chance to do a psychology roll. It's a regular success, but because of the kerfuffle and all that, everybody has a penalty die.
Well, would have been an extreme success, but now it's a failure.
What was the skill check? Sorry.
Psychology.
Fail.
Psychology. It's like insight. What'd you get?
31.
Is that
Is
a
that a
success?
success?
No, I failed.
No. Okay. So yeah, you don't know what transpired, who he called, what the outcome was, but he comes out to you and is like, yeah, you're good. You like show up tomorrow, before the an hour before it starts, gives you a back alley address, the warehouse behind says, oh yeah, so it's like the uh the meeting's going to be at like the party's going to be at the Masonic Lodge. They're throwing the party for him.
Oh, it's the Masons, of course.
They love
uh
sniffing children.
so it's like, it tells you to report there about an hour before, and that you can take on take a that you'll be hired as temporary workers. You don't know that he's fully trustworthy, but don't have any evidence to the contrary. I know we need to wrap for time soon. But before we do, there are still plenty of other places around town to search, but I'll open it up to you guys. Were there more places you guys wanted to go check out? That we can maybe try to sneak in before we have to call it.
I'd kind of like to call it if you guys don't mind, but I'm down to do like
Yeah, I'm good
because I
calling
want to do like a couple more places, to be honest.
All right, so this one might end up being stretched into 3 sessions or more. We'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see how it goes. Off to a good start so far. We will pick up. It'll be a little while, but we'll pick up with the adventures of Carl, Mike, and Gunther as we go on. I've got a few notes I got to take here as we go. I think this is promising. We'll pick back up with still here in the investigation phase, and go from there. But since it'll be a little while, I gotta take some notes. All right. Any housekeeping that we want to take care of here at the end of the episode? I believe next week we are doing a game adaptation. Although for the life of me, because I didn't write it down, I was trying to remember what we decided. Do you remember?
You mean a movie adaptation or
Yeah.
a game?
Street
Oh,
Fighter?
You said game.
Yeah, an adaptation of a game. That's what in my
Street
mind.
Fighter?
That's why I couldn't remember. Did we decide Street Fighter, or we were talking about
Max Payne.
Max Payne, or the fucking driving one, why am I blanking?
Gran Turismo.
Gran
Oh yeah,
Turismo.
Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo
Yeah,
was-
that was the one we settled on, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so Matt could have something to bond with his
Connect with
with-
Zapapa.
his father
Do that.
about this. Yeah, that's the plan. We will continue on and look forward to that next week. And then after that, we'll do news, and we'll be back around for a continuation of this in about a month. Hope that doesn't throw me off too much, but we'll see. I'll have to refresh my memory. All right, boys. We will call it here tonight, and we'll get this out. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We love you very much. Smooches. Mwah. But yeah, that'll have passed by the time this episode is out. But thank you very much. We will see you in the next one. If you want to support us in the meantime, best place to do that is over at twitch.tv/campaignComrades. We will see
Use those
you.
Prime subbies.
Absolutely. We will see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.